If I were sorry, would you apologize? Are you sorry to me? Who did what? Who wronged who? I don't know, but if I was sorry, I would let you know. You guys, Frans is singing If I Were Sorry for Sweden. Are you ready to talk about it? Let's do this!
Wouldn't take the break to breathe until I got close enough. If I were sorry, I'd give you all the glory. If I were sorry, if I were sorry.
There has been so much hype about Frans even before he won Melodifestival in 2016, but he lived up to expectations. He won even if he lost the jury vote, and he is going to Eurovision on home soil. Denise, how will he do?
I think he will do well. A lot of people are talking about how much they hate this song and they think it's one of the worst songs from this year's Eurovision. I think those people are only looking at Melodifestivalen and that their favorite didn't win and they only hate it because of that. What I had with Poland in the beginning. But because of that. If you look at that song itself, it was internally selected in Sweden. I think a lot of people would like it. So saying that, I like it. I really do. I think the song is really simple. But that's a good thing, because we're getting like more LED screens and more graphics and everything is getting more. And now we're not getting anything more, but we're going for it simple once again. And I think that he will stand out with that. It's really good. Frans, he isn't a great singer. He is more like talking and saying words. But it's working. And I really like his accent. I'm falling in love with his accent. The staging itself, I also love that because it is so simple. But I also love the words that are that are showing us on the light thing. So it is really good, and I think Sweden, they're doing it again. Yeah.
I think Sweden is so clever. They obviously will have the most technologically innovative stage of any Eurovision ever, and yet their own act will be the simplest on that stage.
Yeah.
It's kind of like saying, we're giving you all these tools, but we don't need them. We can still succeed without them. This is the anti-Eurovision, anti-Melfest song. It is paring it back, stripping it down, and you're left with this amazing voice, which, maybe not an amazing voice, a quirky voice, a different voice, a unique voice. But you know, that has merit on its own as well. Like, just because he's not dropping it Mariah Carey style doesn't mean he doesn't have a good voice. It's a unique voice. The song is very Ed Sheeran meets Justin Bieber. We've all heard this before, and yet it still feels fresh. It still feels fresh. People who do not like Eurovision, you find this song on their playlist. This has been on the Spotify viral list, as Chris knows. This has been all over the place. When you play it to people, they're like, oh, it's not so bad. And that comes from people who normally hate Eurovision songs.
True.
I think this is gonna get a lot of support from a lot of countries. Some people say it's too divisive, but I think among non-hardcore Eurovision fans, it's actually not divisive. It's considered a good song.
I definitely echo pretty much all of those thoughts. I think in the Melodifestival jury, I gave this a 2.
Wow.
But that was mainly off the snap kind of reaction, I think, from when I first heard it. I didn't like it. I thought that he was quite fake as a performer. I didn't really get it. And then the more that we knew about him and who he is, I grew to like him more as an artist. And I do think that some of the comments about Frans himself have been really horrific, actually, on social media. And I've grown to like it more and more, and I've realised I'm listening to it more on my playlist, and then it came on my phone, and it's just sort of constantly growing for me. And if it's grown on somebody who, like me, who hated it to begin with, all those people that loved it the first time that heard it, that it could be a huge hit after Eurovision.
Snap out of that Eurovision and Melodifestivalen bubble when you've only got 3 minutes to court 170 million listeners. You've got to pull your weight. I don't care, you don't need to listen to it a million times. The Swedish entry has to be the entry that William and I have talked about the most in private, because he really loves it and consistently tries to persuade me to like it, and it's not working. However, in his defense, I hosted a listening party of about a dozen friends of mine and colleagues who don't know anything about Eurovision at all, and they listened to all the entries, and 9 out of 12 of them said that Sweden was their favorite.
Yeah.
I'm still in shock because I don't get it, and I've kind of followed this entry from Melodifestival until now, And in fact, for me, it's a borderline qualifier.
Well,
I
luckily,
mean, it's a big 5.
host country.
Yeah, it's an automatic qualifier.
In any event, let's go around and give our score out of 10, and if you wish, a prediction.
I'm giving it a 9 because it is so good, because it is so simple, and because it's so sweet and innocent and all that kind of stuff. A prediction, it is in the top 5 of the bookmakers all the time. I'm not so sure if it will be top 3, but I think it will be in the top 5 or pretty close to it. If you look at Robin, Was It Right With You? When they were hosting it, that song, I liked it, but it didn't do well. And this song, when they're hosting it this time, it will do way better. Absolutely.
I gave this an 8.5. I'm still not convinced how well or how poorly it will do. I do think it's top 10, although you just never know. I think this is going to be an issue of whether the public binges too much on all the technological spectacle. If they're sick of that, this will stand out even more and their love will get behind it. Devon's viewing party was an audio party, I take it?
Yeah, it was an audio party and complete non-Eurovision people, and pretty much 9 out of 12 of them chose Sweden as their lead favourite, and the other 3 who didn't were like, oh, I was thinking of picking that.
Oh.
So you all 3 are right. I just don't get the appeal.
So it's curious. I wonder if those other 3 will be swayed by the visuals or lack of visuals.
Yeah.
It's all up in the air for me. But in any event, this is going to do well.
I gave it an 8, which obviously, like I said, going from a 2 to an 8 is a huge leap. And I recognise that before you comment about that. But yeah, I don't want it to win, but I have a sneaking suspicion Gothenburg 2017 is probably on the horizon.
Firmly a 5, and that's because I don't think it's terrible, but then I don't particularly think it's good either. I just think it's just very average.
The average score across all 40 Wiwi jurors around the world who evaluated the song is a 6.28, and we are not apologizing. That's what we think. What do you think? Is Frans destined to win Eurovision on home soil? You can let us know here on Wiwi Vlogs.
Hit the subscribe button.
And please don't be sorry and make sure to like this video.
Don't leave me out in the cold. Am I the only one who holds this opinion? Let us know and have your sound off in the comment section below.
See you later. Bye!
Bye.